Hey, happy Freedom Day to you and yours. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, after the weekend of football that we've had, ubungenza njani ukuthi uzohlala lapho? Ngiyazi ukuthi imibuzo yenu iminingi. Sizofika lapho. Kodwa ke angesifike lapho singakhulumi ngosuku la namhlanje. What an important day. Because 32 years ago today, history was made, right? South Africans came out and they did the unthinkable, what the world never even thought. And then I ask you, what does the picture of freedom look like to you? To many, it looks like kids running in the field, maybe even, you sitting on the beach. But in 1994, for South Africans, this photograph taken by Dennis Farrell, which would go on to be nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, was the exact picture of freedom. These were the lines for people going to vote for their freedom. This picture was so important that it was labeled across the world as the picture of freedom, alongside this picture here of Utatu Nelson Mandela with Jacob Zuma just slightly behind him and Cyril Ramaphosa, who had accompanied him to go and vote. He cast his ballot, and these two pictures became known as the pictures of freedom. Well, it's freedom that we've gone to exercise and experience in this country. It's freedom that allowed over 80,000 of you to go to Soccer City over the weekend, the FNB Stadium, to watch a game between two teams. But you got to ask yourself, what was happening in football in 1994, shortly after that vote? How do we express our freedom in football? Well, I can tell you that the NSL, which was the National Soccer League, which ran between February and November, that year, they crowned a winner. And it was so important for many that it was that winner because it signified into mnyama. Orlando Pirates won the league in 94. You know who came second?
Not quite sure.
Doggy? 1994. I can tell you that Blackpool, African Wanderers, and Jomo Cosmos, they got promoted because it was 18 teams back then and 3 of them got promoted. But do you remember who came second?
84.
1994.
Yo. I was still in my development stages.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They conceded 14 goals, Orlando Pirates, that season.
Wow.
In Mnyama, Doggy, and it signified black people thought this is our team. In a year where black people have voted and gotten one of their own in office. Orlando Pirates won the league that year.
Wow.
1994. Now you know. I'll tell you, Cape Town. Spurs came second.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Welcome to it. It's Soccer Zone, and that was the State of the Nation football address. Let's move on now to what we're going to be talking about on Namhlanje. It is who wants it? Who wants it between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates? But it is the important one that is playing a big role here. Richards Bay is going to sit and say, whatever happens, we played a role. Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates is what we're going to be talking about in detail. Marky Mark, you were at the stadium. Great atmosphere.
Oh, amazing atmosphere. And you could just, I think it embodied everything that a derby should be about. Every single player that was out on the field represented the respective badges with aplomb. Every player on the field really gave everything for both sets of teams. And I really was thoroughly entertained on the day.
Doggy, you sit here in studio. You gave such a stellar broadcast as the SABC alongside Mahuta and Vusiwe.
Yeah, good evening. We were here in the studio, but then, kwavele tsunami.
Yeah?
Hawavele tsunami. Where we were like building up for an hour, 30 minutes. The next thing, the game has been delayed for 30 minutes. Subject 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Well, look at it this way.
Hey, I'm telling you.
I was a viewer, Doggy.
Yeah.
And I got to get a person who established the derby in so many ways that you did versus one of the biggest brains I think we've unveiled in football in Katlego Mahuta Mashego. So I enjoyed it. It was our win as viewers of the SABC Sport. But the one person that the entire South Africa wants to hear from, Metro, yakhuluma amagama afana no inconclusive. So bafuna ukuyibona abantu ukuthi ngabe bekuyigoli noma bekuyi-offside into kapolice. And for that, I have to go to the most trusted. Well, at least I do. Tatana, the principal.
Pirates Chiefs, there's a goal scored by Apolis. That goal, bantu bayakhuluma. But this is Soccer Zone. We're going to show you the image that we have, and we'll take a decision from the image that we have. So get ready ekhaya ukuthi no wena uthini nami ngizokunika yami decision mara wena uthini ngale image ngizokubonisa yona ngiyabuya.
I've got a feeling there's going to be a trend this evening, and most of it is going to be what happens on this show tonight. Okay, speaking of what happens on this show tonight, this is depending on you. Ubani siphuma ngaye sithi ke uyena odlale kahle hlula bonke kule weekend is the MVP voted for by you. Get onto the socials and vote.
Peterson back for a crucial game yet derby, but I must say that this man, before his injury, him let her down because I thought he was going to be Bafana player.
He certainly did beautifully. And then this man, Atini Makokola, he's been stellar for Amazulu this season. I think he's going to go down one of the young players of the season.
Oof.
And then Azola Matros, one of the goals of the season. He had only one thing on his mind when he smacked that into the back of the net, giving Chippa United the lead.
6 A's for Brendan Peterson in the derby. Azola Matrose with a killer goal, his first of the season. Amazulu scored 5 goals for the first time this season. They have not scored more than 3. And Atini Amakola scores 2 and assists 1. Who are you going with? Well, you vote. In the meantime, here's important news. Tsecho Mabasa is in the news. Chiefs and Pirates are in the news. And of course, the big question mark on Brandon Peterson and Bafana Bafana. For all of that, the best when it comes to news in football. Mazola Malefe, the Super Journey.
Yeah, breaking news from Marumo Gallants. They look set to potentially part ways with yet another coach. Remember, the youngest coach in the PSL, Coach Alexandre Lafitte, leaving the club on condition that he was insubordinate. And now Coach Yamil Benouahi at loggerheads with the team. I can tell you now that both sets of camp in loggerheads and discussions ongoing around whether he comes back or not. He has not been on the bench for the last 3 matches as well. So let's move on to the next.
Hold on. When was he hired? How many games did he sit on the bench? Because it was just yesterday you told us about him.
Yeah, he was hired just after the international break. This was soon after Bafana played Panama in back-to-back matches. And he sat on the bench against Magesi, 3-0. And then after that, he was not on the bench. Though the team submitted a team sheet with his name on it, but he hasn't sat on the bench the last 3 matches. For more of that, you'll find it on sabcsport.com. We'll break it down further. Now, moving on to the next one, Tshegofatso Mabasa. I can now confirm that highly unlikely that he will not be returning to Orlando Pirates. And I'm told he is ready to listen to offers with Stellies, the first team that gets a bite here with regards to Tshegofatso Mabasa. Mark Haskins, I'm going to come to you just to find out, what do you think? Which team, every team needs a striker, which team is best suited for Tshego Mabasa?
It's a tough one. I don't know which team is best suited, but I know every single team in the league, probably barring Sundowns and Pirates, will be on the table. They'll be considering him. He's one of the deadliest strikers in the league. My heart is just broken because I was hoping, I believe records are meant to be broken. And I was literally hoping he's going to break Benedicto Villacazzi's record for Orlando Pirates and become the all-time leading goal scorer. I think he's 8 goals behind.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that he's not going to achieve that.
Yeah, we're going to monitor that closely with regards to the future of striker Tshegofatso Mabasa. Let's get some Soweto Derby reaction now, starting with the Pirates coach, Abdeslam Wadu. He says he went to Soccer City for a football match, but what he encountered was karate.
I don't know if I have to say that I have seen a football game or karate. I don't know how we call that today. Or I don't want to respect other sport, but today was not a football game. Everybody are willing to play some nice football, and there are some people that they have to protect as well the players. When I saw that our 3 players three players, ball players, Mofokeng, Apolis, Moremi, were targeted not to take the ball in the rules, but to break the legs of the players. This is something that I cannot accept in football.
Yeah, that's Pirates coach. Let's hear what his counterpart had to say. But he was more talking about man of the match, Brendan Peterson, saying he should be getting that Bafana call-up. And there's actually more players at Amakosi that deserve to play for the national team and go to Mexico for that World Cup.
I think it's not only Peterson. We have 4 or 5 players that are putting big pressure for the coach, and I feel for him. I think it will be tough for him to decide. Peterson, this game or the game before, or even before the injury, he was showing good performance. He was working very well with his coach, Elias Mzouri. And I think that from my point of view, that he deserves to be in the national team. Regarding his performance, is not gift, but regarding his performance. Same for Kroos, same for Maboy, same for Moniani. I think they are pushing, and I think it's time that's player from Kaizer Chiefs to take the chance also to be part of the national team.
Andile, that's it from the news desk. I wonder what you and your panel think of the goalkeeper situation, especially with Peterson ahead of that World Cup.
Thank you very much, Tomazolo, there with the news. Doggy, before we go to the goalkeepers, you were sitting here analyzing the game. Did it feel like a dirty game where, there was intention to break players? Is that the intention you got from it?
I guess the interpretation is different. And look, yes, it was a little bit physical and emotional. Players were like flying with tackles and all that. At some stage, men handling each other, all that. It was like, it looked so ugly. But at the end of the day, the views and the feel of the coaches is what they think. This is what happened. And we can't falter them because football is a...
That's how he saw it, and that's fine, is what
it's a game of opinion. Yeah,
okay.
That's how we saw it. Yeah.
Speaking of opinions, the other opinion that came out from there now, Uguti, Mark, umqeqeshi weKaizer Chiefs uBen Halel, ucabanga ukuthi unozinti Peterson fanele angene ku-squad seBafana ngendlela adlale ngayo.
Well, we know the national team coach was looking at him. It was a pity, the timing of his injury. So that kept him out for a little while, but he came back and he's just shown his quality once again. And so I definitely think he's in the picture. Between himself and Sipho Chain, they definitely both in with the shout.
I mean, this save.
That was stupendous. I think the one from Sibele Bele was even better. It's point blank. He puts out a strong hand to make sure that he, denies him. But yes, he was stellar on the day. And he's brave in that moment because he's throwing his body at Mutuma's feet. Did exceptionally well.
But the competition, when you're going to speak about the Bafana page, would be Sipho Chain. And you look at the amount of clean sheets that Sipho Chain has kept just this season. And Dougie also didn't have much to do at this derby, so he wouldn't have shown what he wanted. I mean, he made 0 saves there. That's not his fault.
It's not his fault. I mean, no, it's not his fault at all.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a goal whereby, look at his positioning. He's closing the proper and he reacts. But unfortunately, it was like...
He was left exposed.
Left exposed,
And like I said, we would have loved because why when you say Ekoro. He didn't have saves.
No, he did, yeah. He didn't have to.
You have to ask yourself, has that been the story of the season?
I'm asking you. That's a good question.
How many times has he really been tested this season? And Pirates are so dominant.
Defensively as well, solid.
They're so dominant. So, they keep the possession more often than not. And yes, defensively, they've been really sound. He hardly has much to do in most games.
So, Dougie, the question then, has he kept these clean sheets because his defensive has been solid and he hasn't much to do?
He's part of the defense.